Hey guys, we are doing language class right now, so if you do not have your language book out, please go ahead and get it out at this time. We're doing page 147. So, on page 147, we're just kind of reviewing a little bit with our proofreaders marks, specifically our capitalization. You know, you only underline the letter 3 times to show that a letter needs to be capitalized. Insert that little caret thing. It just looks like just a little triangle thing. And a couple other things. The delete thing, it just looks like a just little squiggle, yep, and just like that. And of course, putting the letters SP above a word shows that it is misspelled, because SP stands for spelling. Okay, so look over on 147, remember A, the instructions say, use proofreaders marks to insert punctuation, mark capital letters, delete incorrect words, and mark spelling mistakes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I have number 1 and 2 written on the board. Number 1, what a nice Sunday dinner that was. Good sentence, solid sentence, but I do need the first word in my sentence to be right, it needs to be capitalized. So I'm going to show that by just underlining the first letter of my sentence 3 times. Okay? And I remember I capitalized days of the week, months of the year, but not the seasons. So which of these words are going to capitalize? Days of the week, months of the year, but not the seasons. Right? The word Sunday is a day of the week, first day of the week. So that is also capitalized. Okay? I don't think there's any other words in here that do need to be capitalized, but it is a sentence, so it needs what at the end of it? Right? It needs an end mark. So we're going to put an end mark at the end of this sentence. Go ahead and put remember we called it a caret or an insert mark. So go ahead and put a caret right here. And what end mark are we going to use? We're inserting something, but we got to insert it. It could be what a nice Sunday dinner that was. That could be considered a declarative sentence, but with how the sentence is written and how it probably would be said if someone were saying it, I would consider this one to be an exclamatory sentence. So what end mark are we going to use at the end of this sentence if it's an exclamatory sentence? We'll use an exclamation point or an exclamation mark if you want to call it that. Okay? That's the whole first sentence. Let's go ahead and do number 2. My cousin goes to camp each summer. So again, it's a sentence, so we need something at the beginning of our sentence. We need a capital letter. So go ahead and put those 3 lines underneath that first letter. Okay? The word cousin, that is a person, but it's not a specific person. Now you might have a specific cousin in mind when you're saying this. Like if you were the one saying this, you might have a specific cousin in mind, but unless you say their name, it's not a proper noun. So this word cousin is not going to be capitalized. Okay? And remember, we said, might look at this word summer and think, oh, summer should be capitalized. Remember my rule. Days of the week, months of the year, but not the seasons. Is summer a day of the week or a month of the year? No, it is a season. Seasons do not get capitalized, so we're not going to capitalize the word summer. Okay, so I'm finished with this, except I did miss something at the end of the sentence. What goes at the end of my sentence? Right, an end mark. So I'm going to go ahead and put that little caret right there. And what goes at the end of the sentence? Looks like it's just making a statement. My cousin goes to camp each summer. It's just a simple statement. Right, it will be a period. And that is both of these sentences. What I want you to do, I wanted to work through these 2 with you before you go on and try to work them all on your own. We've done these 2. You kind of saw how they're done. Now, we didn't find any words that needed to be deleted. okay? We didn't find any spelling mistakes, okay? So what we're gonna do, for example, if this word was misspelled, you just put the letter SP above it, okay? If a word needed to be deleted, you just kind of cross it out and then just put that little loop above it. I always think of it like it looks like that, and it almost looks like an E. And whenever I see that E, I always think like it means to eliminate, which is another fancy word for like delete. So it's like you're eliminating that word. That's kind of how I always remember it. So go ahead and do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause the video. Go ahead and do those. When you come back, we'll go ahead and finish up 3 through 10. All right, you should have finished 3 through 10. Now, of course, I can't fit them all on the board, so I'm going to have to just kind of segment it into pieces. But this is number 3. John and I ride the same bus to school. Again, simple sentence. Since it is a sentence, we do need the first word to be capitalized. And also, John is a specific person. It means it is a proper noun. Proper nouns always do get capitalized. So, go ahead and put those 3 lines underneath John. It's not just John, though. It's John and I. And you notice it didn't say John and me, because me is not supposed to be used as a subject. I is used as a subject. So, the word I gets capitalized. Of course, I always gets capitalized. We know that. Okay, that is a capitalization rule. So, John and I ride the same bus to school. Now, again, school is not a specific person, place, or thing. It could be any school. It could be Landmark Christian School. It could be some school over in Pennsylvania that we don't know about. But school is not a specific person, place, or thing, so it doesn't get capitalized. But it is the end of the sentence, so we do need an end mark right here. Which end mark do you think goes there? Right, it's just a statement, so it's just going to have a period. Right. Number 4, Dad and I are going camping one weekend in September. Okay, this one kind of has a little bit more. Okay, Dad, first word of the sentence, gets capitalized. And the same thing with the word I. Well, it's not the first word of the sentence, but it does get capitalized. And again, same thing as up here. The word I gets capitalized and I is used as the subject. So Dad and I are going camping one weekend in September. Again, capitalized days of the week, months of the years, but not the seasons. And right here we have the word September. It's not a day of the week, but it is a month of the year. Okay? Days of the week, months of the year, but not the seasons. That's a capitalization rule. Because it is a month. And end of the sentence does need a period. Make sure you put your insert mark as well. And number 5, will you help me build a snow fort? It doesn't say snowman, it says snow fort. Okay, will you help me build a snow fort? Well, of course, first word of the sentence gets capitalized. Will you help me build a snow fort? There's a word in here that is misspelled. What word is misspelled? Right, it's the word you. It's supposed to be Y-O-U, not Y-O-O. So that's a misspelling, so we'll just put above it S-P, just to show that it's misspelled. And then I have at the end of my sentence, it needs an end mark. So let's go ahead and put my caret or my insert mark right there. And I need to put what at the end of the sentence. Will you help me build a snow fort? What is that sentence doing? Is it giving a statement? No. Is it asking a question? Will you help me build a snow fort? Is that a question? Yes, that is a question, so it's going to have, right, a question mark. So make sure you have these correctly written, and I will put the other ones on the board as well. Okay, we have 6, 7, and 8 on the board. Let's start with number 6. Ben said, "This has been a great day." So we have, of course, first word of the sentence, like always, is going to be capitalized. Put those 3 lines underneath the letter B for Ben. We have Ben said. Now, Ben said, that means Ben is speaking. When we have someone speaking, we put what kind of mark around what somebody was saying. I think I mentioned this maybe yesterday. Right. We use quotation marks. So we're going to put quotation marks at the beginning of what he's saying and at the end of what he's saying. So I'm going to put my insert mark right there. Just kind of put some quotation marks right there to show that he's starting to speak. And at the end of what he's saying. Now, before we put quotation marks, let's put an end mark. Because when you're putting a quotation marks at the end of the sentence, you need the last word. So you need the word has been a great day, period, or whatever the end mark is. So period, and then quotation mark. So right here, we'll put our end mark, and it is a period, because it is a statement. This has been a great day, period. And then we'll put another, kind of gonna look a little bit busy, put another insert with my quotation mark. So it says, this has been a great day, period, quotation mark. Okay, we're not done. Because when Ben is speaking, that's the beginning of Ben's sentence. Okay, so even though in these quotation marks, even though my first word in quotation marks is not the first word of the sentence that is written, it's the first word of Ben's sentence that he is speaking. So because of that, we need the first word of Ben's sentence to be capitalized. Okay, I know it's been a long time since we've been doing that. Okay, but the word this needs to be capitalized. So go ahead and capitalize the word this, underlining the word this 3 times. Well, not the word, just the letter T in the word this. Okay, so Ben, capitalized, said, quotation mark, this, which is capitalized, has been a great day, period, quotation mark. Okay, that was kind of a little bit of a longer one, but I know that you got it. Okay, number 7. June, July, and August is summer months. Okay, now here we have a list, June, July, and August. Okay, if you look back at your list of, not spelling rules, if you look back at your list of comma rules, you see that there's something to do with a series of words. Okay, that's just a fancy word for saying a list. When we have a list, we're going to put what? Right, we're putting commas. Right here, and we'll put an insert mark to show that I'm putting a comma. June, comma, July, am I putting July, comma, and, or am I putting July and, comma? Where does that comma go with the word and? Goes right here. So we'll put June, comma, July, comma, put that insert mark, and August. Now, I know that I kind of skipped this. First word of the sentence, of course, needs to be capitalized. So June gets capitalized. July, it's a month. So June gets capitalized for 2 reasons. It's a month and it's the first word of the sentence. So June is capitalized. July needs to be capitalized. And what other word? Right, the word August. So June is capitalized, comma, July capitalized, comma, and August capitalized. Okay, we're not done. We still need our end mark at the end of this sentence. I know it's kind of right at the edge of the video. Okay, but it still should be in there. Okay, I have June, July, and August is summer months. What do I need at the end of this sentence? I need an end mark, and that end mark needs to be a period, right? Number 8, Mr. and Mrs. Brown gave Daniel a new Bible. Oh, that was really nice. Okay, so Mr. first word of the sentence gets capitalized, but it's also an honorary like Mr., Mrs., Doctor, like Reverend, Pastor, things like that. They get capitalized. And it's not the full word. It's an abbreviation. Abbreviations need a period. So we're going to put Mr., which is capitalized, period, put that insert mark. And same thing with Mrs. It gets capitalized. And it's an abbreviation. It's not the full word, so it needs a period as well. Put that insert mark to show that you're putting it in there. So Mr. and Mrs. Brown, of course we know that is someone's last name. So it's a specific person. That means it needs to be capitalized. And when it's a specific person, place, or thing, it's called what? Right, it is a proper noun. So Brown gets capitalized. Underline that B 3 times. So Mr. and Mrs. Brown gave Daniel. We know Daniel is a specific person. So Daniel is a proper noun and needs to be capitalized. So Mr., which is capitalized. No. So Mr., capitalized, period, and Mrs., capitalized, period, Brown, which is also capitalized, gave Daniel, capitalized, a new Bible. Now, the word Bible stands out because is it something that is referring to God or the Word of God? Right, it is. The Bible is the Word of God. So that means the word Bible needs to be capitalized. I'm going to put those 3 lines under the B, the first B in Bible, not the second B, first B. And it is a sentence. Mr. and Mrs. Brown gave Daniel a new Bible. What do I need at the end of this sentence? Right. A period. And put that insert mark in there as well. Number 7, I made a mistake in number 7. Now, what you have written is what I should have written right now, but I missed something. And after I erased it, I realized I had forgotten it, and so I'm just gonna make that correction real quick. I have June, July, and August is summer months. So, we had learned about subjects and verbs before. My verb, of course, is, because it's on my helping verb list. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had. That's my helping verb list. And so if I was going to break this down a little bit, is would be my verb, underlined twice. My subject would be August, July, and June. So June, July, and August is. That would be my subject and my verb. Now, what I missed was, how many subjects do I have? I have 3 subjects. So I have a singular word, and a singular word, but I have 3 of them. So that means my subject altogether is not just singular, it is plural. All of this is plural, which means my verb right here cannot be is, because is uses a singular subject, and we have a plural subject right here. So is, we're going to take it, we're going to just draw a line through it, put that little E, just write the word are right there. to show that it's not supposed to be is, it's supposed to be are. So it would be June, July, and August are summer months. Okay? If you missed that when you went through it, don't feel bad, because I missed it when I went through it too the first time. So I'm glad that I could make that correction though, so we don't accidentally get mixed up on that. Okay, so let's finish up with number 9 and 10. So 9, this one's going to be a little bit more complicated, so make sure you're paying attention with this. Don't want to get messed up. So, of course, the first word of the sentence needs to be capitalized. On. And January, like we just went over not too long ago. January is a month, days of the week, months of the year, not the seasons. January is a month, needs to be capitalized. Now, I do have comma rules that do have to do with the date when it's laid out like this, January 19, 2020. So I'm not going to put my comma between January and 19 because it's a word next to a number. You can't get those two things mixed up. But I do have these two numbers next to each other. And if I'm not careful, sometimes I might misread something. If I'm, going through something really fast, I might misread this as one number if I'm not careful. So I need to put a comma between my day and my year. Comma's going to go right there. But I have another rule that says if my day is in the beginning or in the middle of my sentence, which it is right here, okay, because January 19, 2020, or on January 19, 2020, our church had a special missionary service. That's my sentence. Since it's in the middle of the sentence, I need to put a comma after my year as well. If my date was just by itself, January 19, 2020, with no sentence, I wouldn't need a comma. If it was at the end of my sentence, like if I said, our church had a special missionary service on January 19, 2020, I would just need a period at the end of the sentence. But since it's in the middle right here, we're going to put a comma after my year. I know it's been a while since we've gone over that rule. You might not have caught that. If you didn't catch it, don't feel bad, because that's one of my, if you didn't catch it, don't feel too bad. Okay, so on January 19, 2020, make sure those commas are there, our church had a special missionary service. Now, I don't really need anything else. I know that special missionary service might seem like it might need to be capitalized, but it's not any specific person, place, or thing, so it doesn't get capitalized. But I do need an end mark at the end of my sentence. So over here, I will put my insert mark, and I will put above it an end mark. On January 19, 2020, our church had a special missionary service. That's just making a statement, so that means that I need a period. And number 10, my Aunt Marlene lived in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Now, you might not, I don't know if we've really gotten there yet, but Michigan is the name of a state. So I will need to capitalize Michigan. So let's go ahead and do that right now while we're thinking about it. Michigan needs to be capitalized, and my first word of my sentence needs to be capitalized too. Always capitalize first word of the sentence. Okay, I do have a specific person right here, Aunt Marlene. Aunt Marlene is a specific person. Aunt Marlene gets capitalized. So my Aunt Marlene live. Now, same thing that we were dealing with earlier. Okay, Aunt Marlene is one person. That's singular. When I have a singular subject, my verb needs to end in S. The word live doesn't end in S. I'm going to put delete and rewrite the word because it has to do with singular and plural with your subject and your verb. So that's what I'm going to do. That little cross out with an E, and then I'll put above it or next to it L-I-V-E-S for lives. So my Aunt Marlene lives in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Now, Kalamazoo, that is a big weird word. And that is the name of a city in Michigan. I know you might not recognize it or ever been there or anything. I don't expect you to necessarily know that because it is kind of just a little bit of a weird knowledge, I guess. But Kalamazoo is a city. It's a specific place, so it gets capitalized. Okay, so Kalamazoo, Michigan. I do have my city and my state written right here. When I have city-state written like this, what do? Just like I would do with Haines City, Florida. I would capitalize Haines City, I would capitalize Florida, but something would go between Haines City and Florida. What would go there? Right, it would be a comma. Make sure you insert that as well. And at the end of my sentence, I need an end mark. What end mark am I going to use? Right, I would use a period because it's just a statement. My Aunt Marlene lives in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's just a blanket statement. Okay? Now, that's all of remember A. Remember B. I can't really help you with remember B because that's just you putting information down. Okay? Number one, you're putting your name. You're just making sure that you're putting a proper noun down, which means a specific person, place, or thing. And of course, you are a specific person. So you need to put down your name, whatever your name is. Of course, everyone has a different name. Make sure you capitalize it, and of course, spell it correctly. You should know how to spell your name, so hopefully you can do that. The name of your town or city. So if you live in Haines City, you would write down Haines City. If you live in Poinciana, you would write Poinciana. If you live in Polk City, you'd write Polk City. Whatever it is, wherever you live, put that down. Make sure you're spelling it correctly. Same thing. Number 3, the name of your best friend. Everyone's going to have a different best friend. The name of your favorite book. Everyone's going to have a different favorite book. The name of your state. Well, hopefully you all live in Florida, so you're going to write down Florida. Make sure you capitalize that. Make sure you spell it correctly. Okay? I can't really help you too much with write B. So go ahead and do that on your own, and that should be the whole page of 147. So go ahead and finish that up, and when you are done, you're done.